you sure that you saw those same clowns from the legend? What if some pranksters filmed their next video? Samantha asked incredulously, showing reluctance to get out of the car. I absolutely definitely saw those same clowns. Prankers are unlikely to be there. The place is not good, James insisted. Like all abandoned places. What do you understand? James checked the camera and moved towards the abandoned motel. Did you at least take any weapons, just in case? Samantha shouted after him. Naturally, only I expected that you would be my main weapon. The guy joked. Of course, he didn't take anything like that. Asshole. Samantha had no intention of going to the motel. She didn't believe in urban legends. She thought it was all horror stories for children, especially about abandoned places. But Jacob's motel had a completely different atmosphere. Samantha reassured herself that the situation in such areas was always such an unpleasant one. But having been to various such places, she did not feel such horror as before this motel. By the way, a little about this motel. It opened in ancient times, at the beginning of the 20th century, and is almost the oldest building in the city. Even then, it did not have a good reputation. The motel became a refuge for various marginalized individuals. According to rumors, even Charles Manson himself spent the night there. But this is all untrue. In the 70s, the motel closed for unknown reasons, becoming the source of many different urban legends. Ghosts, various creatures, maniacs, and all other evil spirits. Who hasn't been there? The single most popular urban legend remains clowns. It is not known how it all started. There were just stories about some strange people in clown costumes who lived in an abandoned motel on a permanent basis. Someone there saw them in the middle of the night, as usually happens, and away they went. Only after rumors spread about clowns in the motel did people begin to find corpses there. Homeless people, random people, and curious people. Some even have cameras with recordings. Some part penetrated the network, which gave rise to many ongoing disputes. Is it really all or a decree? Samantha knew about it, but tried not to think about it. Of course, she was worried about James, but the motel scared her more. It seemed as if the building itself was alive, without any monsters or any creepy clowns. Then, the girl finally gave up. Feelings took over, as she got out of the car. We need to find James before he gets into trouble. Meanwhile, James wandered around the first floor of the motel, looking into the rooms that were open. Of course, there was little of interest. All the rooms were empty, dirty and dusty. Some contained the belongings of the last guests. James even came across a room where a pair of vibrators lay under the bed. The most curious find. Nothing else like that, the most ordinary things. On the second floor, it was almost the same, but the doors of several rooms at the end of the corridor were open. James slowed down, pointing the camera towards the open rooms. It's good that the camera has a night mode. Too dark. James kept reproaching that he forgot the most important thing, a flashlight. He had to use a pitiful semblance of a flashlight on an antediluvian phone. There were a couple of steps left to the end of the corridor, and suddenly loud laughter was heard. It clearly came from open numbers. The laughter was followed by footsteps. Someone in a ridiculous clown outfit appeared from the room. A shabby suit, poorly applied makeup, a red nose hanging on a string behind the ear. The one who appeared seemed strangely sad. He put his hands behind his back, looking at James, swaying slightly. "Hello," James said quietly, afraid to approach the clown. The clown did not react at all, continuing to stand in one place. They stood like that for several long minutes, until the clown showed his hands a very heavy hammer with a rusty metal head. James shuddered at the sight of such a powerful weapon and began to step back. The clown was approaching him, waving an instrument. The guy turned around and ran towards the exit. The camera fell out of his hands, leaving only the flashlight. Before James had time to reach the stairs, a brick flies into his head. The guy grabs the railing, but due to a blow to the head, he turns over and falls flat. One of the rooms, which was previously closed, turned out to be occupied. A clown with bright makeup and a red wig runs out of his hiding place, overcomes the stairwell in a few leaps, takes the brick that he threw at James, and begins to hit him on the head with it. A sad clown appeared. He looked at his partner offendedly, pouting his lips, and the red-haired clown did not notice him until he completely turned the guy's head into mush. Only after that did he turn his attention to his brother and spread his arms. The sad clown stomped his foot hard and stood up, muttering something angrily under his breath. "James, where are you?" Samantha screamed, tripping over everything that came under her feet. She already regretted that she had come here at all. "I've been calling my boyfriend for several minutes, but he hasn't responded at all. The motel is small. You should at least somehow hear her loud screams." "Then, James, this isn't funny anymore," Samantha muttered and turned around. "I had just taken a step when someone's silhouette appeared in the aisle." Samantha looked closely, but because of the darkness, she couldn't really see. "I only noticed baggy pants, a round physique, and a cap. The silhouette was very short in stature, so it seemed as if a fat child was standing there." "Hey, who's there?" Samantha walked up to the aisle with a light gait, trying not to fall. The silhouette stood motionless as the girl walked a little closer to him. Only then, with a wild cry, did someone run at her, throwing their arms up. The last thing Samantha saw was a very fat and short clown with a devilish grin, revealing a row of crooked teeth, and an axe in his hands.